We need to talk about these. These are the Nike Metcon Turbo 2. These are basically a more lightweight version of the Metcon. They're actually more expensive than the current Metcon because they offer something different. So in less than 5 minutes, I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this shoe and whether you should actually consider buying these over the regular Metcons. So this is going to be quite a different review. As you know, I reviewed the Metcon 8. I'd say they're a well-rounded gym shoe, but I've always wondered about the Metcon Turbo. From the description, you're told that the Metcon Turbos 2 are a more stripped down, minimalistic version that still have the durability, comfort and function of a Metcon. They also have Nike Zoom technology which cushions the foot on landing. So this is great if you're doing workouts with lots of slamming of the foot like box jumps, burpees, running and so on. Sounds great, doesn't it? But I have to say that I'm actually not quite sure. Now, when it comes to my first impressions, visually they looked okay. They looked exactly how they look on the images, no surprises whatsoever. They're very lightweight and that's exactly what they promised on the Nike website. But from this point on, that is where everything started to go downhill for me. I instantly noticed that they aren't too comfortable. There's a small patch of material in the toe area of the shoe which gave me a bit of discomfort. I know every foot is different, so it may not be the same for you. It's just something I couldn't ignore and it really affected my use and the performance of this shoe for me. Now, let's get on to the build quality of these shoes. I know these are labeled as a more minimalistic shoe, but the build quality of this shoe did not impress me at all. It was actually quite shocking. The materials on the lateral and the medial side of the shoe feel very thin and flimsy. It doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence that the material feels like they could actually be ripped by hand. If you lace these up tightly and use them rigorously as you should be able to with any gym shoe, I would bet that these don't last more than 6 months. You'd probably see tears in this material after not too long. Let me just talk a little bit about what I wasn't expecting with this shoe. I removed the insole to see what the thickness of the insole was like compared to a regular Metcon or the Reebok Nanos, and this is what the insole looks like. I was actually surprised to see that the Zoom compartment, it's just a small section here, is actually connected to the insole of this shoe. I have to be brutally honest, this shoe, once you take the insole out, is literally just a really cheap feeling shell of quite a low quality material. There's no way I'm paying more for these than a pair of Metcons when everything is just in the insole. So it just feels like you're just paying for an expensive insole. Now, I'm no shoe engineer, but it doesn't feel right that you should be able to bend the heel of a shoe so easily. It just feels really flimsy and soft, and it's not really what I'd expect from a shoe that promises so much. The shocking thing for me is that these are actually priced higher than the current standard Metcons or the Reebok Nanos. I just cannot make that make sense. They're two shoes that may be a bit more heavier, but they are more comfortable and they have better build quality and will most definitely last much longer than these. I'll put a link to each of those video reviews I did in the description for you to check out for yourself. The moment I pulled this insole out and saw what I was left with, I was pretty much done with this shoe. I cannot see how a sole that's this thin and this flimsy can last any longer than 6 months. It really doesn't inspire any confidence for me. So just to sum things up, they weren't comfortable to wear, the build quality is really quite bad, and it just doesn't give me the confidence that these will look or perform as they should do in about 6 months' time, and they just give you a super thick insole with a flimsy shell of a shoe. And to me, that's just not good value. You shouldn't be able to bend a shoe like this. It's just pretty ridiculous. I actually think I could turn this shoe inside out. You should have more of a heel than, look at this, I'm literally playing with this, it's crazy. But you get a lot more with a standard pair of Metcons than you do with this. And the material here, I just know that walking on concrete with these, in 6 months, that is not gonna last. That is gonna wear down like that. Some people, when they get training shoes, they take the insole out and replace it with an insole that's more comfortable to them. Now, when it comes to something like this, when pretty much the whole shoe is an insole and you're just left with nothing, I find that quite tricky to navigate. Like, what would you do? Would you just put an orthotic on top of that? And then in terms of stability, the orthotic isn't going to stay planted on that. So you've got the problem where you can't just put your orthotic straight in that because the shoe is pretty much all in this insole. I overpronate myself, but it's not so bad that I need an orthotic. If I did, I don't think I would go for these shoes at all. But if you're looking for a gym shoe, I would recommend going for the regular Metcons or even the Reebok Nanos over these. In my opinion, there's no way on earth that these should be priced higher than either of those shoes. I will link to my review of each in the description below. That was my quick review of the Nike Metcon Turbos 2. A good enough idea, but in my opinion, very badly executed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. With that being said, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.